What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Abby's Window. I love that countdown. You guys like that countdown at the beginning? It's very chilling and horror-like, isn't it? I love it. Jeff's doing a great job, obviously, with the audio and cranking things up a notch here. So welcome to what is a new week for us and what is kind of a new direction for us a little bit as well. We'll talk about that on other shows during the week, but we are here to talk about Bray Wyatt. And obviously, as always with me, we've got Jeff with us today. And we also have our host of the show, Jodie, our resident Abby. Jodie, what is going on? I know we did a little teaser video yesterday for the first time, but what's going on?
Usual Bray stuff. We got a lovely Firefly Funhouse episode on Friday, and I was rewatching that swamp match, and a little light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, I gotta write this down, I gotta record it, I gotta do something before it goes out of my head. So I texted Jeff, and I was like, hey, I got this wild theory. I just wrote it all down, and I sent him a screenshot of it. He was like, I love it, you gotta record it, I gotta put it up on the channel. So
yeah, that's what's cool about the Bray stuff, man, is there's always Easter eggs, there's always theories, and of course, we got a sighting on Smackdown, which I missed the original thing. I watched it, obviously, on YouTube, but didn't get home in time to see it. But yes, we got a Firefly Funhouse episode with Bray having a little conversation with the lantern. So it looks like cult leader Bray is back in his lantern, right? So the genie is back in the bottle. At least it looks that way. So he kind of used him and done, and looks as if he's back in control. And obviously, as Jodie theorized, that would probably mean that the Fiend is back in control. So what did you think? I will just pass on a comment that one of you made on our Twitter account today, on our YouTube. Actually was a comment that one of you left saying that you heard him say that he detests Bray. So somebody heard that comment from the lantern. That's really cool. I couldn't make anything out of it. So if you were able to do that, that's pretty neat. He said something like he detests Bray. So that's pretty neat. But I couldn't make anything out of it. I don't think anyone else did either, but that's pretty cool if that was the case. Let me welcome in some people, and I will let Jodie go to it. Eric Haberman, hello to you, man. Joshua Mickelson, hi to you. Jay Legacy, hello. Famous KJ Carter, hello to you. Kevin Correa, hello to you. Kyle Scully, hello. Wrestling Days fan, hello to you. Big Boy Dally, hello to you, man. James Chadwick, hello. Firefly Funhouse fan, hello. We've got Pine Valley, welcome and hello. Chris Dazuba, we have Chris, welcome to you. Steve Walker, Jason Stopper, Mike Lister, welcome to you. Sunny Wolf, welcome to you. Nails and NY, welcome to you. Moda is here, welcome to Moda. Let's see. I think that Deuce Wayne, love that name. Deuce Wayne 36, welcome to you. And we've got people from Twitch. We've got, he is on Twitch. Join us on Twitch. Yes, I agree. Yes, like Jeff said, welcome coming in from Twitch. That's awesome. Nails is over there as well. Always like to see people coming into Twitch. And for you guys, we got something special coming just for Twitch, which again, I will get to later. So, Jodie, what do you think? You think Cult Leader is gone now? Is the Fiend now totally back in control?
I think the Fiend's always in control. And that was kind of what I hinted at in my theory yesterday. I think the Fiend's always in control. I think he's always been in control. I think he brought cult leader Bray up from the pit that he was keeping him in. Kind of like Bray said in that match that he was watching all of this happen, through his own eyes, but not able to control it. So, Bray kind of said in that Funhouse episode too, like, I can't let you back out right now. And he definitely, those two words right now kind of stood out to me a little bit, kind of hinting at maybe we'll see him again down the road, depending on who his opponent is. But for right now, the Fiend is the dominant personality, and That's how it's going to be.
Awesome. Jeff, what do you think? Do you think we're done with cult leader Bray, or like Jodie said, is he going to make his way back somewhere down the line, maybe for the Randy Orton story, which we're going to get into a little bit later because Jodie mentioned this in the video as well. This may be coming closer than we expect because there's some theories going on out there with Randy maybe challenging Drew McIntyre tonight. He leads off the show. If that happens, and Bray wins the title, Survivor Series might be looking really tasty. So, Jeff, what do you think? Do you think cult leader Bray is going away for a little bit and coming back down the road sometime when Funhouse Bray needs him again?
Yeah, the cool thing I really enjoy about this is that he can really call upon any of these faces at any time. So while I do think we won't see cult leader Bray for a little bit, I think he's always at the Fiend's disposal. So
he's a weapon
on who it is. Exactly. So, depending on who the match is against or what the situation is, he can actually, deploy whichever entity into that situation and use them that way. Because after all, what Jodie basically said in her theory video was that he's basically the puppet master. So he can pull the strings of any of these faces and use them however. So I do think we'll see him again, but I think for right now we're going to see some pretty epic stuff from the Fiend.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with both of you. I think obviously he did use that cult leader persona for the swamp match with Braun, kind of working his mind a little bit more, kind of maybe softening him up a little bit. And yeah, I would agree. I think that we have seen the last of that character, at least for now. Moda said earlier, I just came up with a theory yesterday myself. I think that Funhouse Bray is more powerful than we think. It's just that his power doesn't translate outside the Funhouse. Yeah, look, Jodie brought that up as well, the exit and entrance to the Funhouse. So we've always said this, right? Like, where is the Funhouse? Is the Funhouse Bray's mind? And if that's the case, it would make sense that he would be very powerful there because it's in his mind. Wouldn't it be something if down the road, like the match with Cena never happened and that this was all in Bray's head? And Cena never showed up to WrestleMania. Look, it could be any of this kind of stuff, and it's funny to think about a lot of it, really, because as to where it goes. But yeah, obviously it looks like so. I mean, what are we getting next? There's rumors saying Braun's gone. Now, obviously, he was not on SmackDown last week. Maybe he's gone again this week. Maybe he'll be gone for another week. I don't think they'll keep him away too long because obviously we're leading up to SummerSlam. But what do you think is going to happen next, Jodie? I mean, is the Fiend just going to be obviously he's unleashed? And is it just going to be a bad thing for the people that are on SmackDown? And can he just trash pretty much anybody right now? I mean, obviously we saw Jeff Hardy with a little bit of a Willow tease. I mean, would he go after Jeff now maybe and just start going after people until Braun comes back?
I'm going to add to Moda's theory a little bit. I think he's 100% right, but I think that's because Funhouse Bray and the Fiend are the same entity. And I mentioned this in my theory video yesterday as well. Bray has so much power on bringing people in. He's the advertiser. He's the propaganda. He's the sweet face you want to come in and hang out with. Like, he's the one bringing everybody in to this happy-go-lucky version of hell. And it talks a lot about this in the Bible, that people will be lured in by things that look like fun, and then you let him in and you see the real face, you see the real side of it. And I think that's what's through the door. It's kind of like you could kind of compare it to the Funhouse being some kind of form of purgatory in a way, and then through the door is hell, and it's your own version of hell. So like when Cena went through that door, it was his own version of hell. But Bray, he's got that power to draw people in, and that's why he's so powerful. But I still think they are the same entity.
There you go.
Anyway.
There you go. Mike Lister says, I have a question regarding the Fiend's mask, which is ironic because I put out a picture there I think it was yesterday, of the 4 different versions of his mask now that we've seen, including the original one that had been torn and had the stitches. But Mike says, I had a question regarding his mask. It is clearly disintegrating. Do you see it disintegrating and reveal a new one, or does him defeating superstars heal him and it? I don't know that it's disintegrating anymore. I'm starting to wonder about that because I kind of thought so as well. I mean, we've heard people like Jason Baker and Kyle say it's a lot of the lighting that WWE's using, that you're not seeing the white as much. Obviously, the swamp match, clearly that was filmed outdoors in darkness, so you don't get as much of a close-up. But there is a latest picture of it in the light that does kind of make it look a lot darker and a lot like, I want to call it dirty. It kind of looks more dirty, more muddy, more, used, I think. But I don't think it's disintegrating, and I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's just changing because it's more used. It's kind of looking a little more evil, maybe, with all of the, the sludge and the dirt instead of more like on the bloody side like it was when we first saw it. But great question. Jodie, what do you think about that?
Well, obviously, I go back to what Jason told us, that they only made one.
Yep.
And he said it's all camera tricks and lighting. I think they may have patched it up along the way, and that's obviously why we see the stitches and such. But I forget where it comes from. Joe, you might know. That whenever it takes on a power that it destroys, it takes on part of it, you know what I mean? So in a way it's becoming darker because it's taking things from somebody. I forget, it's from a movie or something. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, there's been stuff out there that when things
when you defeat somebody, you take part of them.
Yep. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, look, whether it is or whether they are changing it with the lighting, either way, I do have to shout out Chris Madison because he was the one who sent me those pictures, actually. So he does like Fiend customs and stuff, custom figures on his Twitter. So check him out. But I would have to thank him for sending me the pictures of those masks. So yeah, let's see. Fiend31618 says, "Hey guys, I'm on my Twitch." Oh, it's John on his Twitch account, man. Thanks for joining us on Twitch. That's very, very awesome. Eric saying he's wearing his Fiend shirt. Appropriate. Very appropriate. Moda says, also, since Funhouse Bray is in control and he is the gatekeeper, what do all gatekeepers have a key? Could Funhouse Bray actually be Wyndham?
Wyndham is the key.
Yeah, he is the key. I mean, could Wyndham be buried in Funhouse Bray? I think so. I think I liken Wyndham more, I think, to Husky Harris personality. But I don't know. It could certainly be. It could certainly be.
Well, and Bray's been asked that a lot. Like, where does Wyndham end and Bray begin? And I've seen him get asked that a lot in interviews, and he said there is no distinction. Okay.
Well, there you go. Sean says, I think Braun will be gone until early August. Yeah, could very well be. But that, I mean, it is the 27th of the month. So, this coming week, Smackdown is the end of the month. So that would bring him back on the very next show. So if Fiend does attack somebody, it will be this week, and then Braun will be back the following week. I guess maybe the next question to lead right into this is, are we going to see a changed Braun Strowman when he does come back? Jeff, do you think Braun Strowman is going to have been changed enough where he is a different personality now when we see him back?
I think so. I think that we definitely see Braun changed in some capacity, whether that's a new mask or we see just glimpses of back where he used to be in terms of just being evil and a destructive monster. I think that's what we'll see. I'm not sure if he's completely changed yet, though. I think maybe it takes the Fiend defeating him before he's completely changed.
Okay. What do you think, Jodie?
I love what Meme Collector just said. He said, I think Wyndham is the vessel that contains all the different personas. So Wyndham is the key that has unlocked all of these personalities. I love that.
Very cool. Very cool. Like it. Want to welcome in Rusty Shackelford also. Sorry, Jody. You can keep
you're
going.
Fine.
Wanted to just say hi to Rusty. How are you, man? Go ahead.
I do think we see Braun changed a little bit, but not quite all the way there yet. Okay. I think he won't completely change until the Fiend has his way with him. I think he's been changing little bits along the way. Obviously, we saw some darker parts of him during that swamp match, when he set that guy on fire and he was laughing about it. And so I definitely think he's changing along the way. So I think he'll be a little bit darker, but he won't be all the way there until the Fiend's done with him.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I mean, there's got to be enough of his old personality still left to warrant them fighting. Because obviously, if he came back and he was completely turned heel, they probably wouldn't make for a very good storyline anymore. So There has to be some kind of conflict still going on with him, where you might be seeing the darker side coming out a little bit, but enough still where he would end up fighting Bray or the Fiend at SummerSlam. So
yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, exciting stuff. I mean, we obviously are leading up to SummerSlam here, and it's going to be the culmination of that feud. Now, let's talk a little, because we talk about this a lot as well on this show. So, obviously, they go to SummerSlam, and whatever kind of match this is going to be, is it another cinematic match? We don't know. Maybe. But is it going to be for the title? Chances are it is. I've heard some rumors flying that saying that title is definitely going to be put up on the line. I've also read some articles saying that people have thought that Braun has gotten a lot of respect through this title reign that he's had since he's beaten Goldberg. Now, it hasn't been outrageously long, but they said he's picked up a lot of respect from fans and, from other people in the business. So, is it time for Braun's title reign to end? And if so, are they going to give the title back to the Fiend again, kind of righting some wrongs that we shall not name and not talk about on our show anymore? But is Vince maybe righting a wrong here and giving the Fiend that title back? I mean, obviously, look, he still has that custom belt, so he can prance out to the ring with that thing whenever he wants. Is it time for him to win that belt back at SummerSlam, or is it too soon? I'll ask you guys, and you could tell me what you think. I know a lot of you and a lot of us who are fans of Bray want to see him with that gold on, especially from the way he lost it the last time. But are you guys all, you feel a little bit like me maybe, where you kind of think we get off the track when that happens? But like I said earlier, if Randy beats Drew McIntyre, which now is looking like it may be a good possibility, because there's again rumors saying that they want Drew to win that title now back when there's crowds again. So maybe next WrestleMania Drew will get that title back somehow. Are we leading up to Survivor Series? And we were all kind of bummed when we saw Taker retired, because we were all kind of hoping, and I know Moda was hoping because he was supposed to go to that, which I feel bad for. But I know he was hoping that it was going to be Taker and Bray at Survivor Series. Well, we may be getting earlier than we thought, because we had thought this was going to be next year's WrestleMania. We may be getting Randy Orton versus Bray, champion versus champion, which you see a lot at Survivor Series. I mean, wow. That is, look, everybody wants that. Everybody wants to see Bray versus Randy. Is that coming up next? And should the Fiend get that title? So, Jody, start us out. I mean, do you want to see him win that title back? I know you want to see the match with Randy. I know that. But do you want to see him win that title back at SummerSlam?
If that's how that story plays out, I would piss my pants. No joke. Yes, I would like to see him have that title back. If that's the route that it's going to take, that it's going to end up being champion versus champion at Survivor Series, it's a way to keep that belt on the Fiend for a little while. Because I mean, it's champion versus champion. You know, I don't know if those ever come out. I mean, it's not he won't take the title. They don't take the title off the other one. It's just
No, they
champion
don't.
versus champion.
No.
So it's a good way to keep that belt on Bray, and hopefully until WrestleMania, maybe. So yeah, I would love that. It breaks my heart to think about Drew losing that title, but you know, he'll get it back when there's crowds back, and I would absolutely love that. I definitely could see SummerSlam being for the title and the Fiend coming out victorious. Definitely reading stories that Vince really loved the Swamp match and thought it was really good. So, you know, he may be trying to right some wrongs because he knows how PO'd people were about Jillgate. And I think he tried to do that too with Hell in a Cell. You know, the backlash from that seemed to be pretty high. And then the next thing you know, the Fiend is winning the belt. So I just don't want them to write themselves into a corner again like they did last time. Because, you know, like Kyle said on his interview, you give the belt to this person who's supposed to be indestructible. How do you take it off of them without pissing everybody off? So, yeah, I think if it goes down that route, have Randy Orton beat Drew McIntyre, have Bray beat Braun, and then build that up to Survivor Series and have this amazingly beautiful feud, because it will be amazing. And the only thing I think is if you put the belt back on the Fiend, you kind of keep him restricted to SmackDown a little bit. Obviously, we haven't really seen that with Bayley and Sasha Banks because they're just going everywhere, kind of like Charlotte Flair used to. So I think without it, he may have the freedom to just go where he wants to go and attack who he wants to attack and just kind of go with that.
Yep, that's
but I would love to see him with that belt back around his waist because he looks good in it.
Yeah, look, that's a great point. Because it seems as if they are doing that with the champions and moving them around. I mean, is it at the point where we are here where Bray is ready to come back? Is he ready to resume, coming back to the Performance Center, kind of being around there a little bit more now? Because, it's been a couple months since he's had the baby. And, so is this is he kind of revving up to come back a little more full time, do a little bit more tapings? And if that's the case, then yeah, it does seem like WWE is taking their champions and kind of, especially the women's champions have gone from show to show to show. Charlotte's obviously gone around. So would that be something that they would have Bray do? And it doesn't have to be a match. I mean, he could show up as the Fiend anywhere.
Right.
And in fact, we've always thought that would be cool if all of a sudden he shows up on Raw and then shows up on SmackDown. I mean, all over the place, and then
show up on NXT and attack Finn Balor again. I mean,
you kind of just wouldn't expect it at that point, so it'd be completely unexpected, a complete surprise. Now I know Dude Chill said nope, he wants Braun to keep that belt. That's cool, man. That absolutely cool. Different opinions is what we're all about. So yeah, I mean. Rusty says we're in the midst of seeing a brand split. Well, I mean, you do have it possibly coming up with the draft. I mean, the draft last year was in October. You guys know how much I hate the draft. I think it's rubbish. But I don't know.
That's a very British word.
Rubbish. Yes. I got to give love to the British people and my British friends out there. We've got a lot of them. So yeah. But yeah, I don't like the draft. But look, if they're gonna bring up something, maybe they'll do it a little bit differently. Maybe they'll, shake things up in a bit of a different way, which I'm okay with. I mean, sometimes look, obviously with the ratings they're getting, they need to do something. Right. They need a shakeup. So, and if the Fiend is coming back, going to go from place to place, is going to bring up ratings. Yeah. Yep. Why not? Why not?
Yep. And yeah, like I 100% agree with you with their ratings right now. They need to do something unconventional. And I think ending the brand split would be a great way to do that, because then you don't know who's going to show up on what show. So you have to watch all of them to see, oh, well, so-and-so wasn't on Raw. Maybe they'll be on SmackDown. I got it. You know what I mean? So I think ending the brand split would be a really good way to bring their ratings up.
C has a couple of comments about the Survivor Series. He said if they do one match at Survivor Series, they can't finish their feud with one match because you can't write off one champion. So it could be like a preview match to their eventual feud. And then he goes on to say if Orton declares he wants the title before Bray does, the story is fine. Bray only wants the belt so he can face Orton. Yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
Neat, huh? I
very like cool. That.
Very, very cool. Yeah, look, there's
the only reason he took the title from Braun is to get to Orton. I like that a lot.
Yep. There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it. I mean, it's out there, right? I mean, and plus, guys, we all love the fantasy matchups, right? So if he's allowed to go from place to place, you guys, I know, listen, I would absolutely mark out if he had not only attacked Balor on NXT, but what if he came out and attacked Karrion Kross?
Oh, God.
If he came out and attacked Keith Lee out of nowhere? Oh, I'm all about those fantasy things. If it was just a little one-off here and there, and he was just coming out causing destruction everywhere he goes. I mean, look, we've been talking a little bit about the Seth thing and the eyeballs and whether or not that's related still to Bray, right? So what if he came down and kind of helped Seth? Like, what if he came down and attacked somebody that was going after Seth, like Aleister Black or somebody like that? So many cool things they could do. Listen, I mean, Pritchard was one of the writers on SmackDown, so he's now kind of in charge of the writing teams. Obviously, he's worked with Bray on the Funhouse match, so why not? Why not involve your biggest merch seller on your shows to get more interest in the shows? Sonny says, ooh, Fiend versus Cross.
I mean, what if you got to lose at this point? Like, Bray is your cash cow. Everybody loves him right now. I mean, everybody's always loved him, but, like, take advantage of it. Let him just run amok. And
Yep. SOA arm is my religion, says Karrion Kross versus The Fiend would be magical. Yes. Yes. Monica says, I love all this, but Joe, do you think Bray going and attacking all the shows and causing all this chaos could get too messy? It has to be done right. I'm not saying he should just be here, be there, because then again, seeing too much of a good thing. Obviously you don't want it to happen constantly, but I could say a surprise here and there. Like if you're going to have him on SmackDown and there's going to be something big happening there, then obviously don't have him on Raw the same week. Don't have it all play out the same time. But, let's say if Braun doesn't come back until, let's say, maybe a week or so before SummerSlam, nothing wrong with if he doesn't show up on SmackDown this week, and maybe he won't because he had the Funhouse last week, then instead maybe we get him on Raw, which would be a shocker because no one would expect it. You're going to, or if he in turn would show up on NXT next week, again, big shocker, big surprise. Listen, guys, surprises mean ratings. And if that happens, my God, the internet would explode. And Vince would see, oh my God, look what this guy is bringing. Look at the ratings this guy is bringing. The ratings are going to go through the roof for when that happens. So I think it would be a good idea. I really do. I mean, why not? Like I said, he's still a big draw. Yes, Nails. I am very excited. It's very exciting to think about like where it's gonna go. But oh man, the SummerSlam thing and with Braun and then with Randy and it looming in the process, and we'll see about tonight. Does Randy challenge Drew right off the bat tonight on Raw? Watch for that. Because if he comes out and says he's going after Drew, well, there's a step up that ladder. There's a step up that ladder because that he's going after that title. I mean, obviously we know Ziggler's not getting that title off him. And think about this too in that process. If he comes out and says he's going after Drew, he's going after Drew at the top, he can very well interfere with tonight's match with him and Ziggler. Come out after maybe Drew's, they fight a long battle again, and Drew's kind of tired at the end, and all of a sudden here comes RKO. Randy comes down, gives Drew an RKO, and off we go. So watch that and see. Watch that. Yeah. And C says, what if he kidnaps Scarlett and the psychotic Cross has to try to get her back, put them both over, Fiend wins, but have Cross get Scarlett back, put both over? Man, I love all this fantasy stuff. I love all this fantasy stuff. I absolutely love Cross. Like I said, I'd mark out if those two ever wrestled. Oh man, I'm in. I'm absolutely in. Let's see. He said, SOA is my religion. The Fiend is going to be, or the Feud. The Fiend. The Feud is going to be good. Randy and Drew. Yeah. I have so many mind games. Both master mind game wrestlers. Both masters at mind games. How does Randy fight? Like, I can't even begin to picture. Like, how does Randy combat that? Like, how does he? Obviously, you know that. I mean, maybe he would have cult leader Bray and Randy go at it again for old time's sake at the beginning to kind of get in his head a little bit, and then come with the Fiend. But how does Randy fight the Fiend? Like, it's funny to think of. Like, does he make fun of it and kind of say, "Oh, you got this stupid funhouse in your head," and blah blah blah? Like, does Randy call him out essentially and start saying,
so.
"Oh man, so good." So good. So good. Jeff, what do you think of all this fantasy talk, man? We're talking a lot of fantasy here.
Man, if we could somehow get the Fiend and Karrion Kross, that would just be amazing. I'd love to see the Fiend and Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd see I'd love to see the rematch between, I'd love to see the Demon Finn Balor kind of make his appearance if he goes to NXT and kind of messes with Karrion Kross for a little bit, and then that somehow brings out the Demon Finn Balor. That would be amazing.
Yes, I agree. Jesse Callan has joined us. Hello, Jesse. How are you? EJ Movement says, I would love it if Fiend goes against Orton for Survivor Series. Yeah, I think all of us would. Yeah, James, Orton is kicking off Raw tonight. Yes, I read that earlier. He is coming out to state his intentions moving forward. So I don't see why at this point he would challenge anyone else but the top guy. I mean, there's no legends there really for him to take out. So I wouldn't see why that wouldn't be the case. We will see. Drew versus Ziggler is non-title. Correct. Yes. That's John Cena Gamer says non-title. Yeah, that obviously it's not for the title. Or no, is it? Wait a minute.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. All right. Because I thought they were putting up. I thought they were putting up 2 titles tonight. I know that. What is it? Asuka's title's on the line today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was 2 titles. Might have been my mistake, guys. My mistake, but thank you for the correction. Monica says, I'm getting too worked up over all these amazing theories. Oh, could Ric Flair be Randy Orton's Abigail? Oh, Ric Flair in a long robe. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Make Randy face his past like Cena did and blow out the match before lighting the fire, says Nails. Yeah. I mean, it's so good, and just some crazy things that we have had coming down. Obviously, yes, I know a lot of people are saying they love the picture that's up there. Yeah, I love it too. I like the pictures that are close-ups like that because if you look, you can see Bray's mouth, and you don't see that very much. When you see the Fiend, they kind of film it in complete darkness, and you don't see underneath the mask, but you can see Bray's mouth through the mouth of the Fiend mask, which is very cool, very cool. Shane Loki, I'm sure Jody agrees. Yes, Shane Loki joins us from Facebook. Welcome. I would love to see the Fiend go after Big E and turn him into Big E's turning into a heel. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. They split them up. He's done with Kofi. He's moving on. Why do you think they would do that unless there was an agenda? So Big E is going to be a heel. I know it's coming. Let's see. C says Demon Balor shouldn't happen yet. Wait till Bray's main story is over and then have Demon return, and Demon Balor can start his redemption story, eventually leading to Bray. Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you've got to have the Demon versus the Fiend. It just has to happen.
Yep. Yeah, I would think so. MT House for Life has joined us. Hey, guys. How are you, man? Dave in real life, just having something to eat. I hope you're enjoying your You're eating. General Snotty Naughty. Love his name too, man. So funny. Apparently, Vince is looking for new talent. He doesn't even see anything in Alistair. Yeah, I saw that comment. I don't know that that's what that necessarily means. I think there were a lot of people that were talking about that. I think maybe I don't know if he's looking for talent outside of what he already has. I think maybe what that means is that maybe he's looking for new people to kind of push. At least that was the thought in my head. And, obviously now we're having Big E become a single star, and, maybe he's going to get a little bit of a push now and things like that. But I think, I think that may be what's happening there. I think he's just looking for maybe different people to push. I mean, obviously they've got to go in some different directions. It just has to happen. It just has to happen. Jeff, Jody, tell Joe I'm not speaking to him because he hates friendship. Oh, I don't hate friends. You know what? The New Day needed to. I'm sorry. I know they sell a ton of merch. I get it. A lot of people still love them. But look, I think they just had to break up for a little bit. I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't. And maybe Austin
They'll
Creed
get back together.
Yeah, maybe Xavier Woods comes back soon. We don't know. I know he's
reunites them.
Yeah, he's plugging away to try to get a position on the new G4 TV that's coming out. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, listen, I don't think it's a bad thing. So, I mean, are we going to see Bray this week on SmackDown, Jody, do you think, or do you think he's going to kind of, or do we see the Fiend? I mean, is this a good week to see a Fiend attack, which, listen, we haven't gotten in forever. We haven't gotten one of those genuine Fiend attacks where the lights go out and the music plays and all of that stuff. We haven't seen one of those in a long, long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the Kane one? That was kind of a botched attack when Daniel came out to help him?
I think so.
I was going to say, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Do you think we get a Fiend attack, Jody? And if so, who do you think he goes after?
I think we need one.
Yeah.
Desperately. Yeah. I would really, really love to see it. Especially, given that Bray said the Fiend has been unleashed, or he's been unleashed. Yep. That would lead you to believe that he's going to run amok a little bit. Yep. I don't know who he goes after. I don't have a freaking clue.
Yeah, it's like
I don't care. Just anybody.
Yeah. Look, I mean, obviously, I'm sure our whole chat would love to see him come and take out Baron Corbin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure you guys would all be standing up on your chairs and applauding if he came and took out Baron Corbin. I know you would. So
it depends. If Braun shows up, if he's not going to be the one that's off TV for a while, I still think the one that's going to be off TV for a while is Cult Leader Bray. But if Braun comes back, I definitely think we get a Fiend attack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we didn't see, it pretty much came in, just kind of dragged Braun under the water, but we didn't see him physically attack Braun. So yes, and obviously we all remember he did before, back on an episode of Raw, which was actually one of the best episodes of Raw to this day. Was an amazing episode. C says today's stars need to focus less on athleticism and move on characters and charisma. Nobody is electric like The Rock. Nobody hypes an audience like a woo, a sweet chin music, or a middle finger character. You're right. Listen, there are some out there, I think, that have personality and charisma. I don't know that necessarily they're on the main roster yet. But I mean, I think Keith Lee's got it. I think he's got it. I think Cross has it as well. I think Adam Cole has it. So I think a lot of them are down in NXT. And maybe now they've kind of got to move them up. But yeah, I think the other thing is that, there isn't a lot of patience for storylines. We've talked about this too. Jeff, I'm sure would agree. There's not a lot of patience today for storylines. People want instant gratification. They don't want to wait for these drawn out storylines. And I think that's maybe why they don't use them as much anymore. I think they're used just a week to week thing because of that, because the fans just don't like them. And I can't stand that, to be honest. I love long-term storytelling. Me too. I wish they would do more of it. But maybe that's maybe the thought is in the powers that be, that people just don't like this long-term stuff, and
Mhm.
we're just going to move on. We're just going to go past that and just get these storylines over with quicker. Jeff, what do you think? I mean, I know we've talked about that many times before with the long-term storytelling. I mean, is that true? Do you agree and say that we just don't have those electric personalities? Obviously, like Bray is here, and like some of those guys I mentioned in NXT. And if that's the case, is it because you think they don't want the long-term storylines right now?
We definitely don't get as many long-term stories as we should because of the lack of patience of the fan base. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the business has changed because the world has changed. Social media has changed professional wrestling, and
Mhm.
ratings kind of dictate sometimes that they move on from a story faster than what they really want to, because maybe it's not connecting with the fan base. But um, I also think that WWE, the one thing I'd like to see from WWE is just cut guys loose and allow them to do promos in a way that feels comfortable and genuine with them. Maybe give them guidelines, but don't script it as much,
Mhm.
because that, in my opinion, I feel like that's why we haven't had that next breakout star, because everything is so cookie cutter and everything is so, I mean, they basically want all of their wrestlers to fit in a certain mold, and that's what was unique about the Attitude Era. And then, some things after that is because the wrestlers got to be themselves with a twist on it, and actually give the type of promos and input that they want. But yeah, fans are just way too impatient these
Mhm.
days, and it's really sad because we're missing out on some potential great storylines because WWE and other companies feel the pressure from ratings and different things like that just to appease the fans instead of telling stories, and that's something that we all want.
Yep, I agree. Um, I love this comment. What weighs more than what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of Corbin's fans? A pound of feathers, because there are no Corbin fans. Wow. Almost,
Hey, I'm a Corbin fan.
almost got a little Callan corner there. Was Oh, sorry, Jesse. Pine Valley said, "Yeah, it would be so cool." He's joining us from Twitch as well. Quick little reminder: if you are on Twitch watching us, thank you. And if you are, and if you haven't, please sub to our channel there. That would be amazing. Same goes for our main channel on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, if you're watching on Periscope, thank you as well. Please like the video and please subscribe to our channel, and you get notifications of when all this cool stuff is happening. I know some people had noticed, we mentioned we're doing some small, shorter videos now, like Jodie's video yesterday. We're going to continue with that. And also, along with that, Jeff has been compiling our older stuff. So if a lot of you guys are new to our channel and haven't gotten a chance to go back and listen, and I get it. Some of those interviews we've done in the past are longer. I know the one with Kyle was almost 2 hours long, Kyle Scarborough. So I know you guys don't have all the time in the world to just sit and listen to an hour and a half interview, but he's cutting some of them up for you, putting them out there as other videos. You're going to be able to hear some of the comments that he made in there about certain subjects and topics, and not just for him, but we're going to have that out for many of the other interviews we did early on, so that you guys can just see those and just listen to those videos. And then if you want, you can always go back and listen to the whole thing, because I would definitely recommend, as a Bray fan, you got to listen to that Kyle video if you haven't. Same thing goes with the Jason Baker video and the Jesse Cage video. All of them go
And mine.
into, and Jodie's original interview. Yes, that's the one that started it all. Go back and listen to all of those, because you're going to get a lot of insights on this character that you would not have gotten in other places. You'll hear some of the origin stories and how this all came to be and where those guys think it's heading. So fascinating stuff. Yeah, Jodie, any more? Is there, now I know I'll talk about the figures because we've obviously saw the figures with the announcement from Comic-Con. We saw the Ultimate Fiend which looks amazing. That is the one you guys are going to want to get. It's got the jacket. It's got the title belt. It looks better to me than the other one that just came out a little bit ago. Looks like the sculpt is a little better. That is the one everybody's going to want. I don't think that one is up for sale yet, but Funhouse Bray is. You can get the Funhouse Bray figure comes with the puppets, all except for poor Huskus. Poor Huskus got the shit. No Huskus in the box. And we also saw the pictures of the Bray basic figure came out as well. So all of that is coming. Is there anything new in the WWE shop Bray wise, Jody? See anything new there?
There's a new very dark piece of Fiend art.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, there's always new stuff. Usually Bray has a thing a week appearing in the shop, if not more. So yes, always check out the WWE shop as well for the newest Fiend merch. And if you didn't see those, yeah, Butterspark says, me want the Ultimate Fiend in September. Yes, that looks to be the one to get. EJ Movement says, poor Huskus. Yeah, Huskus got the shaft. Maybe he gets his own figure, says Nails. Maybe. The sculpts are cool. If you haven't seen it, he's got his own plushie. So there you go. He's got a plushie. But yes. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell us your comments, your questions if you've got any. We've got a little bit of time left before we have to go and get out of here for the night. What do you guys have for us? You got some theories you want to share? You got some questions you want to ask of Jody? Anything at all? Just shout it out before we let you guys go for tonight and go and watch Raw. So you got a lot of theory today, and you will continue to get those as they pop into Jody's mind. Now that Jody's got she's got that recording device ready to go. So as that pops into her head, she'll record some videos, and you'll get those short videos out as well. So exciting for us guys. We've changed up some things. We've changed up obviously our Twitter. We've changed up some other things as well. We're kind of branding ourselves a little bit, and we're marketing things, and we're changing things up. We are going to obviously stream Impact tomorrow night, as we have been, and we will continue to do every Tuesday. So if you dig the Impact, come and watch that with us alongside of us on Tuesday nights. Still have the wrestling podcast. That's not going anywhere. That's every Wednesday. And Gary Cassidy should be back this week. Gary's been super busy. A lot of stuff he's doing with podcasts out there, and just the stuff he does for Sports Kita and things like that. And he actually, poor guy, was working so hard he fell asleep. And obviously he apologized to us mentioning that as well, and mentioning he was sorry he missed it, but he should be back with us this Wednesday. And then we have the hot tag on Thursday or Friday, as we always do. Hot tag. Brandy might be back there again. We'll see. Brandy is starting to feel better, so that's a very good thing. What are we saying? Would you I missed that one. Would you like Fiend versus Orton to be an Inferno Ring of Fire match or a cabin match, says James Chadwick? What do you think, Jody?
A cabin match.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's the one that set the cabin on fire.
Yes. Yeah, we'll just fit this.
I just go back to that Inferno match that he had with Kane, and I just don't think you can beat that. That one was special.
Yeah, I agree. EJ Movement says, Broken Out in Love or Let Me In. Which version of Bray's theme is better? Mark Crozer or Code Orange? Oh, this is going to be a tough one.
I have to go with his original theme. Don't get me wrong, I love the new one. It's great. But my favorite part of that entire swamp match was when Bray started walking up to the tent that Braun was in, and all of a sudden you hear his old theme. I just about lost myself.
Yeah, look, I think that theme is creepier. I always did. The Code Orange one's great, and it was stunning to hear when the Fiend first came out at SummerSlam. Nobody really expected. You didn't really know what we were going to get, and obviously that heavy metal version of it was very, very cool. But I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for the original as well, because again, I just very creepy, a very, very creepy song. Let's see. When Cult Leader Bray said that he was stuck in an endless pit, did he mean the realm behind the Funhouse door, or do you think he meant his mind? Says Meme Collector 30.
I think he meant behind the door.
Okay.
Because kind of going back to the theory that I said that he was watching it all happen, but had no control over it. And I think, and I know you've mentioned this 1,000 times, Joe, about that movie Split.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
You know, he's got this dominant, his true face, which is the Fiend, but he's got all these other characters that when the Fiend is there, they're in the background trying to get out. And that's why Bray said in that match, I'm not going back, because he doesn't want to go back into the background.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, and yeah, guys, if you haven't seen Split, you got to watch it, because if you love this character, you're going to honestly love that movie, because that's what this is all about.
It will make Bray make a lot more sense if you watch that movie.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Let's see. Days Fan wants to hear Jeff's horn, says Sunny Wolf. Jeff, hit that horn. Hit it.
Really?
That's what it says. I think she might be just saying that because
they've been talking about this for like 5 minutes now.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I can play it if that's what Dave's Fan really wants.
Dave's Fan, do you want the horn? Tell us in the chat.
Do it. Just do it.
There you go. Abby's telling you to do it, Jeff. I think you got to do it. When's it coming? When's it coming? Rusty says, how about a cabin on fire match? Okay, combining the two. All right. Ooh, well, yeah, that goes with the lore. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Original theme for me too, says Austin 316. Let's see. Inferno cabin match, says Dave in real life. Yeah, there's a second one who said that. Yeah, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. Give Wrestling Days Fan the horn, says well, boy,
he did it. It just wasn't very loud.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can make it louder.
There it is. Now I heard it. All right. MTS says, I love Split and Glass. That's a great trilogy. Unbreakable was the first one. Unbreakable's a classic movie. Very, very good. And then Split was a secret sequel. Nobody really knew that until the very end and the end credits. After the kind of the post-credit scene, you saw Bruce Willis. So nobody really knew that. I prided myself in, I don't know what made me do this, but the posters of Unbreakable and Split fit together. If you put them side by side,
really?
the glass is broken in the same space, so they fit together, which was really neat. And I look, I knew before it was even going on. I read spoilers and spoiled myself like I always do. So I knew it. But if you take the first original poster of Unbreakable and put it next to the Split poster, they do fit side by side. So that was pretty cool. Monica says, sorry, but I got to say this is such good. The Vince McMahon thing. Love it. People just say, did people hate Split, but still as a movie and story itself, I think it's an amazing movie. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was great. Even if it wasn't part of that trilogy, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. Big Boy says, when and who does Otis cash in on? Does he win or lose? I don't know. Obviously, we're getting them back this week on SmackDown. Otis and Mandy, they said it was coming this week. So, yes. They will be back this week, so who knows? Maybe it is coming up. We shall see. Cabin match, and you can only win by setting it on fire with your opponent inside. Not PG, says James Chadwick. Why? You can't have PG with burning flesh in a cabin? Come on.
You can take someone's eye out, but you can't burn a house down.
Yeah, come on now. You take Mr. Ray's eye, show his eye.
Braun set somebody on fire.
Yeah, come on. We can do that. We got that stunt guy from the swamp match that was running away when he was burning on fire. Yeah. So obviously, he could come in and they could put a Randy mask on him and pretend Randy's on fire. How about a Billy Joel, we didn't start the fire match? All right. I see where you're coming from.
Now we're just getting silly.
Yes, we are. So, yes, that is it, guys, for us tonight. Final thoughts, Jodie. What are you expecting to see on SmackDown this week, if anything? And how long do you think it is before we see Braun out of the swamp?
I feel like we're on the precipice of all hell breaking loose. And that's all I'm going to say.
All right. All right. All hell breaks loose maybe this week at SmackDown. We shall see. So, yeah, guys, as always, we really appreciate you joining us for Abby's Window. We obviously love doing this show. It's a show where we can have theories. We can talk about what we think is going to happen and also what has happened with Bray over the past week. I know you guys are all big fans of that character, so make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. If you like what you heard, join us at this time every week to hear our host, Jodie, and our resident Abby talk about Bray. Obviously, check out our smaller clips and videos we've got coming out that Jeff has so generously taken apart for you guys and is going to get those out there to re-listen to some of these things that maybe you just didn't hear when they were first out. And also check out our short videos that we have coming. I think Jeff's got a couple that he's doing that's going to come out soon. I did one. I called it Joe's Merch Minute, which, it's a little crazy, but I did one on merch. It's really not a minute. It's like 4 minutes. But that one's coming out as well this week. So check those out. Periodically as it goes, we'll see how we get those out to you guys. But, yes, thank you guys again so much for joining us. And we will see you again next week on Abby's Window. Take care, guys. Enjoy Raw. We'll talk to you soon.